Really Bob Thorne here. I'm going to read some quotes. I'm not really going to comment on them. This video is mainly about the ingredients of magic, and I'm going to read what LaVey says, and I'm going to comment on as I read it. But the first set of quotes, I'm not really going to comment on it. They're like warnings that he gives, and I like to read them because I never got them in my other videos that I did on magic. But this is like my fourth video I did on magic, so I probably will lay off the magic videos a while and I'll do some more research into it or whatever. I don't know, I might do more videos on magic. I haven't quite decided yet, but here we go. A word of warning to those who would practice these arts. Concerning sex or lust, take full advantage of spells and charms that work. If you be a man, plunge your erect member into her with lascivious delight. If you be a woman, open wide your loins in lewd anticipation. I know that I wasn't going to comment on that on any of these, but you can really kind of tell how well read LaVey was, because he's using words that you wouldn't ordinary use. I mean, at least in today's dialect, But this book was written around 69, 70. I believe 69 was when it was written and published. So it LaVey wasn't a hippie by any means, but anyway. Concerning compassion, be resolved that you'll have no regrets at the expense of the help that you have given others. Should their newfound blessings place an obstacle in your path, be grateful for things that come to you through the use of magic. Concerning destruction, be certain you do not in capitals, care if the intended victim lives or dies before you throw your curse, and having caused their destruction, revel rather than feel remorse. Heed well these rules, or in each case you will see a reversal of your desires, which will harm rather than help you. Okay. Now I'm going to get into the ingredients. LaVey says the first ingredient in performing of a ritual is desire, otherwise known as a motivation, temptation, or emotional persuasion. I'm actually quoting from the book here. I got this part underlined here. If you do not truly desire any end result, you should not attempt to perform a working. Good point. Because you gotta put 110% into it. Because if you're not willing to put 110% into it, do it some other time. See, what else is there? There is no such thing as a practice working, and the only way that a magician could do tricks like that. Well, we already kind of figured that from the last paragraph. The amount of energy needed to levitate a teacup genuinely would be sufficient force to place an idea in a group of people's heads halfway across the earth, in turn motivating them in accordance with your will. Well, that's not a lot of energy. I mean, at least not for me. I'm not exactly Brock Lesnar of the World Wrestling Entertainment, which used to be WWF, but for those who haven't been keeping up with it. But, I know some people may have a hard time picking up a teacup because, well, they're frail and may not. But usually, it's not too difficult to pick up a teacup. So imagine what would happen if you went full force and putting all of your emotions into it. Just letting it all go, just letting it all rip into the ritual. Just imagine what could happen to a person or yourself. And and there's timing. Basically, I'm going to quote here, in every successful situation, one of the most important ingredients is the proper timing. In the performance of a magical ritual, timing can mean success or failure to an even greater extent. The best time to cast your spell or charm, hex, or curse is when your target is at his most receptive state. Well, he goes on to say that the best time to attack a person with a curse or a spell of any kind is when they're sleeping, particularly their last 2 hours of sleep, for one reason or another. Let me see if I can find it. No matter how strong-willed one is, he is naturally positive as well. He has sleep, therefore, the past time you throw your magical energy towards your target when he or she is asleep. There are certain periods sleep cycles that are better than others. I just said that. Okay, the last 2 or 3 hours or until awakening, it is during this dream sleep, as he calls it, that the mind is the most receptive to outside or unconscious influence. It says here, a period of profound sleep usually lasts about 4 to 6 hours, after which a period of dream sleep occurs, which lasts 2 or 3 hours or until awakening. Well, when this was written, there wasn't a lot of study. We didn't know as much as we do now about sleep. We now know that uh, we don't. Some people don't need 8 hours of sleep to be fully rested, and so you know, so if you study the person well enough, how long they naturally sleep on average, uh, I would say probably the last 10 to 15, 10 to 30 minutes of their sleep cycle is when you want to get them at. So, back to this. Let's see. Next ingredient. Imagery. I'm going to read it. So we have the adolescent boy who takes great care in carving on a tree a heart containing his and his love object's initials. Little chap who sits by the hour drawing his conception of sleek automobiles. The tiny girl who rocks a stuffed and ragged doll in her arms and thinks of it as her beautiful little baby. These capable witches and warlocks, these natural magicians are employing the magical ingredient known as imagery, and the success of any ritual depends on it. LaVey, okay, LaVey goes on to say that use imagery in your magic, whether it be writing, and whether it be voodoo doll, whether it be just venting. I mean, you can just open up a ritual as normal, vent, and then close the ritual, and that's a ritual, and then there you go. That's it. That's all you gotta do. I mean, as long as you have some kind of imagery, but I think LaVey was trying to convey, drawings and, uh, or what, voodoo dolls or whatever. But I'm sure if you just vent That's I mean, the whole point of a ritual is to get it out of your system. If you can't draw very good, and you're not comfortable drawing, if you can't write, or you can't read, just open up, open up a ritual like you normally do, vent, and then let it out of your system, and then close your ritual. There you go. That's what you need to do. If that's what works for you, go for it. Study magic and everything. Do your own research. This video is going on 10. This is going to be no long ass video. It's going on 10 minutes. Well, almost about just over 10 and a half minutes. 10:40, 10:50. But anyway, as long as you're getting it out of your system. In future videos, I do intend to show off a couple of my trickeries that I use in my magic that works for me. Direction. One of the most overlooked ingredients in the working of magic is the accumulation and subsequent direction of force towards an effective end. I want to continue reading. I want altogether, too many would-be witches and warlocks will perform a ritual, and they go about with tremendous anxiety, waiting for the first sign of a successful working. Okay, basically what he's going with this is that once you do a ritual, put it completely out of your mind. Don't worry about it. And as I learned from John Alley, you might feel the need to do the ritual again. Do so, and again, put it completely out of your mind. So, if you got the PDF that I linked to one of my other videos, if you have the actual book, or if you got a copy somehow, doesn't matter how you get a copy, as long as you got a copy. Now you can read more to it, because his ingredients go from page 121 to 128. So I'm not reading a whole lot of it, but I'm basically giving you the finer points of it, kind of getting directly to the point, But he goes to great length into explaining this. Okay, the balance factor. Balance factor is an ingredient employed in the practice of ritual magic, which I've got this underlined, so you may want to pay close attention. Applies to the casting of lust and compassion rituals more than the throwing of a curse. This ingredient is a small but extremely important one, so pay close attention. What the balance factor is, if you don't deserve something, you're not going to fucking get it. So let's see, let's continue reading. A complete knowledge and awareness of this factor is an ability few witches and warlocks ever attain. This is simply knowing the proper type of individual and situation to work your magic on for the easiest and best results. Knowing one's own limitations is a rather odd bit of introspection. It would seem for a person who should be able to perform the impossible, but under many conditions it can make the difference between success and failure. So, my interpretation of all this, of what he's talking about here, is if you perform a compassion ritual on yourself to cure yourself of alcoholism, for example, but you continue going to the bars, you don't put any real effort into it, naturally you're not going to be cured of alcoholism. But if you are a smoker and you put a compassion ritual on yourself and to cure yourself of the addiction, and you go, and the next day you go to your appointment to the doctor, and the doctor prescribes you patches, and you go to the pharmacy, get the patch, and start using the patches right away, chances are very good that you're going to succeed. So this is the balance factor, as I interpret it. Now, if you want something, you got to put an effort into it. But there's more to it than that. I got something here. So what I got underlined here is magic is like nature itself, and success in magic requires working in harmony with nature, not against it. So I'll just leave that quote to you for you to interpret. This video is getting long anyway, like 16 minutes long now, and just past 16-minute mark, so I'm not gonna go any more further with this. I'm at the last. Just read the last quote that I just read from him. If I can find it again, here it is. Is right there. See where it's in the line. So so this is the longest video that I made to date. I'm getting about as long one as Jason 666 King. So there you have it.